There's one extra in Jamaica 2024, Tuff Gong Studios, and I'm sitting with a legend of reggae music, a man that's been giving us reggae music for over 30 years, not just giving us reggae music, but delivering reggae music because he is the messenger. Luciano.
Greetings, my brother. Powers, blessings.
Remember this one? Pocket is empty, no money to buy, Lord. God knows I'm hungry, don't ask me why. This is the system.
It's the first time I've shaken your hand so ordinarily like that. You've got one of the most unique greetings in reggae music.
For real, man. Good to see you and thank you, sir, because we spoke about this and you promised me that you'll make it happen. And you really did. So I have to really commend you.
In Connecticut,
this is really one
September.
extra. This is really one extra for me.
Blessings.
Yeah, man, give thanks.
Lucy, you've been delivering this music, the message in the music for over 30 years.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that you've been actually putting through the message through the letterboxes of people and it's been delivered? Has that message been delivered?
Yes, I definitely feel, and I honestly know, based on the reports I'm getting from people out there and the accolades that I have received over the years, there's no doubt that the message is reaching the ears of the people and touching the hearts and the souls of the people. Yeah.
Where did this desire to become the messenger start? What does it mean to you?
Well, I started out in church, you know. I'm a spiritual man. I grew up in the church. My father was an evangelist. My mother was a spiritualist, you know. She was even more to nature and more practical than my father. My father used to travel with a Bible and his lantern and preach in the community. But my mother was more to nature. She would find any herbs, any form of illness you may have. She find a herb to heal you. So I had both worlds right there, and there was no way I could go astray. Having such, great parents, my father, he was a carpenter too. And funny enough, he built my first guitar. And it's from that guitar that I kind of really gravitated to learning to play the guitar and having that passion for music.
Was your father able to see you on stage with a guitar? Was he
No,
able to see
my father passed away when I was 10 years old. But my mother lived until she was 94. So my mother really get to see me. And she was always telling me, like, for example, even at the age of 82, going up to 85, my mother would tell me, son, you're not leaving me at Rebel Salute this year. You know?
For real?
My mother, I think, honestly, she wanted to be a singer, but she never get the break. So she was happy enough to see that her son was doing it for her, And it made me proud also. And, saying all this, I don't know how some artists or some youth or some brethren who in the music business could sing certain things and don't think about their parents, what the mama would say. And I could never sing a song that is out of line or out of the way because my mother, I always think about my mother and my teachers. I couldn't sing certain song and know that my mother would be hearing it, So I think respect for your parents and your elderly is one of my guide through my journey.
We call that brautopsy.
Brautopsy, man.
Brautopsy. So I'll say it to you.
Yes.
What was a young Luciano like as a kid?
Well, as I say, after my father passed away, I would take my guitar and sometime in the mango trees and I'll be singing. If I'm doing my daily chores, like looking rabbit feeding or feeding the fowls or tying out the goats, I would be singing. I remember I was in a breadfruit tree one day, singing and, picking the breadfruit and breathing when the breeze blew. Sometimes you can breadfruit limb up away for rock, And I saw someone sing at some rock. I saw the notes just a float out and I sing up there. And I was there singing. Which song I was singing? A nice song, But I was up in the tree and singing and I felt like someone was looking at me. I looked around, so I saw Miss Henry, who's a big enough lady. She was a teacher at the time. But she was like spellbound, like she said, Jeffter, I didn't know you could sing, sir. So, from early years, I realized the power of music and the power of sound and the power of words.
Who was the singers and the songs that inspired you as a kid?
Without hesitation, I will tell you that the great Dennis Brown was one of my greatest icons, and the Honorable Bob Marley, another great icon of mine. Sugar Minot, Barry Salmon, Peter Tosh, Jimmy Cliff. The list goes on, my brother, I tell you. And then I grew up also listening to other international artists like Kenny Rogers and Stevie Wonder and Richard Dimplesfield. You know, sometimes I call some names, some people say, we know all them singers, because honestly I have a passion for the music, so I can appreciate the works of other singers and players of instruments. I respect their work. And when I listen to certain songs, I say, man, I love to do this, I love to do a cover. My first dub plate was Kenny Rogers, through the years that I did for Ricky Chupa.
Now we're going to talk about dub plates, we're going to talk about all that stuff. What I do want to ask you, do you think the names that you called are some real great names?
Some powerful
stalwarts in the
Powerful.
business.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that they help, because your voice is a very classical voice, do you think that those names help shape your voice and your singing style?
Yes, there's no doubt that, you know, I grew up, as I say, I've learned to write my songs by listening to the great songs, the hits over the years. Like even the great, as I said, Dennis Brown. Sitting and watching. Even before I started writing my own songs, I used to steal shows with these songs. You see what I'm saying? I remember one day after I sweep the yard, you know. Let me put on this set there. After I sweep the yard one day, I felt a nice vibration, like a mystic move through me. And I was singing Jamming, which is Bob Marley's. And I was singing, and I got in a kind of frenzy under the chair, under a mango tree. I was singing, and I felt like I was on a stage, because to where I sweep the ground, and it was so clean and nice. I was singing, and my mother came out and said, look here, don't sing no jamming in here. So to her, this jamming song was probably not as was a song that she
Not Christian.
not a Christian song, as she would have loved it. So me say, but Mama, jamming it's a nice song. What's wrong with it? It's just jamming, like we're dancing. She said, don't sing it in here. You know, so these songs, I grew up with these songs, and we never had television. We never had no Wi-Fi and all them things and social media. So we could only depend on what music we hear over the radio. I remember I was by my sister. This is a story I talk about this all the while. I was by my sister in Mandeville. She got married to a gentleman, Mr. Lawman. And he said he went to Milwaukee, his first trip to America, and he bought a radio. But somehow, I think he had forgotten about the radio. I was there cleaning up under his cellar, because I say I always try to find something to do. I was cleaning up under the cellar, and I found half of the radio. And I said, wait, what this radio doing here? How they mash it up, sir? I'm going and clean again and find the next half. So I said, what? I must can put this together. So I take a paintbrush and dust it out, and I get a toothbrush and clean between the speaker line there, and dust it out and clean it down nicely. So I say, all right, I see we can put it together. I was there touching up the wires and touching I get battery put in and try everything. And it wasn't working. So I just, like I was about to give up, and I say, how can I waste of time this? So I just threw it down one side. As I threw it down here, something goes so, so I say, so wait, you have life now, yo. So I check it out, I say, all right, if sound in it and I can't get on the station, that means the tuner must be out. So I just check and I realize that there's a piece of card, look like English card, that goes around the tuner with the little knob that you turn. So I realized it was broken, so I just get a piece of English card and tie it around, and just I'm here ear supplies. Come on. Nobody gets too much heaven no more. It's harder to temple and harder to find.
Was it a Sunday in Jamaica? That sounds like a Sunday in Jamaica Air Supply.
No, when we hear the song, we say, God Almighty, I felt like I've reached heaven. I was saying, and to know that it was the same radio we put together.
And you build it without
and that was like an inspiration from, honestly, from them. I say, boy, I can find somewhere to sing some song where we can come to a radio like this, you know?
Are you ready for more? Just say I come. Say I come. Just say I am a messenger to teach you about roots and culture. Tell them I see the bimbo. That's all I heard with. Just say I am a messenger to teach you about roots and culture. Tell them I see the bimbo. That's all I heard with.
Your career started in the early 90s, and I remember meeting you in the early 90s as a young broadcaster in West London. I believe it was probably one of your very first tours to the UK, and this was off of the back of the success of Where Is Life album and the Messenger album, like two mammoth albums, 1995 and 1996. What do you remember of those times, Luciano? Because this is where the Messenger, Luciano, really elevated to the stardom that you have today.
Well, I tell you the honest truth, that album, Where There's Life, I have to take time out to acknowledge Mr. Philip Burrell, as a great producer, Mr. Fatis, and also Mr. Dean Fraser and the Firehouse crew, and the Daffodils, and Mr. Sly and Robbie, and Cat Core and Strings, and, you know, I really appreciate what they have done for me, because those were the songs that really kind of set my foot into the music business, make people realize that this is a great songwriter and I have good melodies. And, you know, when I remember going into Brixton Academy Live, oh my God, that was my first big show in the UK. When I walk out on the stage, and when I can't forget, Mr. Daddy Ernie was the man who brought the MC.
The host.
And when I walk out, I couldn't believe it. I'm looking right up to the ceiling, I see people. I said, God Almighty. No, it felt like, man, like nothing I've ever experienced. And, you know, I will always be grateful for those years. Those former years were the years that really made the Messenger grounded as a cultural artist, you know.
Is there a special connection with you as Luciano and the UK? Because obviously you were signed to Island Records as well, which is UK based. There must be a very special connection.
I want to tell you, before even the signing of the deal with Island Records, there was a song called Cuba Negras from Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton, yeah. I remember that sound.
And there was a song called Saxon.
Muscle.
When Musclehead came to Jamaica, I was at New Name Studio, just hanging out and trying to find a way through. And, you know, because I never have no hits, I was making hits from old songs. Like, I get hits from the old school and turn it into dub form. Like, through the years, I said I put it in dub form. When Saxon came to Jamaica, before that episode with Saxon, I was doing my little upholstering, and took some days off, go to studio, do some work, and then was doing my upholstering to pay the bills, right? So I got a cut. If you notice, his finger is kind of deformed, but it get a terrible cut. Even these fingers were severed. All his finger was cut up because I was doing my upholstering, and I was building some frame, some wooden frame, and I had on a pair of gloves, and I was cutting the wood, and the glove catch up in the arm, in the blade, the saw blade, and drawing the blade, drawing me on, and almost cut off entire fingers. And somebody have to rush and turn it off. She can turn it off fast, and I take time and draw out my hand. And when I take my hand out of the glove, this was severed completely. And blood spewing all over the workshop, and everybody screaming, and everybody saying, oh my God. So this finger, when I got this cut in the workshop, I said to myself, Let me really have to take a break from this carpentry thing because it all mash me up, you know. So I get a little piece of insurance from this finger. And it was this insurance money now. I put some in the bank, fix up a little place where I can relax and be comfortable and, you know, write my songs. So I was fully focused on my music, you know, with that little piece of money, insurance money. But, Seani, you know, so the money started run out and I may have song out there, you know, but none, me never hear none like anyone giving me the break that I wanted. But I was singing songs like when I did yes, I wanna know why we can't give love a try. But I did for Mr. Castor Brown at New Name. Then would you believe me? I was there one day. I said, boy, I think hard. I said, well, I have to go back into the supposed and think. Card insurance money done. I'm in a bus yet. I said, boy, this don't look good, you know. I'm in a want to go back into the shop, you know. But anyhow, I take a walk and go up to Kilimanjaro studio that day, like the speech said, before you go to workshop, just walk up to the studio. So I go up to the studio and just sit down for a few minutes. I contemplate and I say, should I or should I not? I don't want to go back into this workshop, you know. Because this thing I go hold me down again. Same time I say I'm a bike man ride up, you know. Natty Sack. Natty Sack is a Rasta bridge, you know. All this amongst Bujo and thing. Nice bridging. Him ride down and him say, yo, where are your name? So I say, Luciano, man say, you know, say me have your name on a list. Well, look on a list. One sound from England want some dub plate. Seani B. When me look on the blouse, ask her list. No, my name over that, but here what happened, them spell my name like Louisiana, the state in America.
Oh, okay.
So when me see, me say, my name, I'm me, man. So
this time you don't bust no nothing.
That time I no bust it, you know.
So how did Musclehead hear about you then?
That this is it now. I don't know. It would appear as if, but no. When Musclehead came to Jamaica now, he was cutting doors with Freddie McGregor and Dennis Brown and Barry Salmon and the greats, all the greats you can't talk about. Musclehead was cutting, so I was there singing my dub one day. I was singing a dub for some local sounds. I was singing as I say, through the years. Can't remember when you were not there, when I didn't care for any sound but you. Oh, dance squad sound taught me all the dubs I know. And I'm there putting on harmonies and stacking harmonies and vice. And so I said, wait, this youth, you know, see your body out. I want some dubs from you, you know. So most Ed decides, say, but me now cut them dubs there, so I go round up Bobby Digital. I must Ed book some studio time and carry me. I mean, I Mike went round there.
Is that the first time that you meet Bobby then? As well?
No, I met Bobby before.
Okay.
But this time now, it's like I felt real special because I say this is the sound man who come to cut dub plate and him using studio hours, not just dub session.
Yeah, but proper.
Man.
So had you already voiced dubs for Ricky Trooper by this time already?
Yes.
Or does Trooper come afterwards? Because you know we have to get the timelines correct. Because sound system business and Luciano is not a joke. Because them said dance not nice if Lucci don't play. You get me? Just a couple more questions on the dub plate thing. How many dub plates you voice every week? Because every song in our sound system business, you have to have a 4-pack or Lucci. Yeah, you can't have 2 songs, you have to have a 4-pack.
It's secret to this, you know. I make myself affordable. I make my dubs affordable. Because honestly, some of these sound men, they're working hard doing the 9-to-5 jobs. Some are farmers, like down in the country. A man might have half the money and he might bring up some plantains and a piece of yam and some cabbage. And I make sure him feel good going back home with some dub, you know. So I think this is what has given me that extra edge over most artists who kind of stick out on the price. Yeah. And I love the culture. The sound culture is something that really, over the years, it's something we can rely on, as we can put on with pot Seani B.
This is the other side of this music that people don't understand.
For real.
There's a extra income stream when it comes to dub plates.
Yes, man.
Don't tell the Jamaican government about it, though.
No, remember when COVID strike, you know.
This is what keep enough artists about.
A sound system. I want there's enough man to buy the most dub them do is during COVID. And I could tell you the same too because most of the sound men they were clashing on the online. So it kind of stir up a little vibes and it, you know, while you're locking inside and you can't come out, people can find way to entertain themselves and this was the best way. Music.
Wow. You know what? I wonder sometimes where they find the money from, especially during that time.
I don't know where. I know. I do have man catch all COVID, you know,
what?
and they on the bed and say, "Lord, say, I go on, Lord, give me, Lord, give me strength." On the taxi.
Yo. What do you think is your biggest song in the UK? Because you've had so many hits.
No. Yeah, when you talk about hits, I remember my first big hit in the UK was "Shake It Up Tonight." That I did for Mr. Freddie McGregor. I met Mr. McGregor now I met the captain at New Name. That's where I met most of these great people. That's where I met Garnet Sig too. Garnet Sig came one day and sometimes I wonder, when I see some money coming in, no money in the business again, man. I those chicklings we get now, man, I tell you the truth. Them time I see some man pass with some money, I see me here. I count them and I said, God almighty, we're going to make some hits around here. Some of us just go home and start do some homework. But just start make some hits. You see, even I'm on farming days, turning from Monday to I make as a dub plate that, you know.
And that's probably one of the most requested.
One of the most requested, especially from the farmers.
Yeah. From the country sounds.
Yeah, from the country
sounds. You said BSI, they see the whole of them.
God,
they set that song there.
I fix that and set them and say, yo, I want that, you know. What? A farming, me doing a yacht. Come here.
So, hold on. It must have changed then when you got your first #1 in Jamaica. It's Me Again Jah.
It's Me Again Jah was the big one for me. Other songs like Neighborhood Watch did some justice, but it didn't go big for me because a lot of people, yes, they have problems in the neighborhood and thieves and petty thieves. Because what my experience was I had a nice set of, I have some clothes to go stage show and someone thief it over the line. So I write a song about it. It went, you know, gave me some recognition, but It's Me Again Jah was the big song. If you go every ghetto anywhere, zinc fence are beat down when them put on that song, you know. And One Away Ticket was also a big song for me, you know. But honestly, It's Me Again Jah, when that chap, like sound man would use that to tune up the song. Yeah.
Can I tell you my two favorite Lucy songs have to be Sweep Over My Soul. There's something very spiritual about that song. Anytime you play it anywhere, I love to play it in big festivals and to see the whole audience, 10,000, 20,000
no, that's a big
people.
song.
Sweep over my soul. Sweep over my soul. Though the road in life gets rough, just sweep over my soul. One more time, sweep over my soul. Sweep over my soul.
And then my personal is Never Give Up My Pride.
That's another big
Again,
song. A big
lyrically.
song. But you know,
those songs really touch your soul.
Yeah, I can't keep talking and I'm doing this interview without acknowledging Mr. Omar Harris because that name Luciano. I used to go by the name Stepper John before. And then, you know, I went to Mr. Harris and I said, Mr. Harris's name is Stepper John. I don't know. Like I tell some producers that, like him say, what's your name? I say, Stepper John. I say, where you come from? I say, Village, sir. Man say, boy, I don't know whether you out there, you know. I step up from village, them man, you know, man come quarrel with me and come in an argument with me over publishing and royalty. Yo, check me back next week. I say, boy, Mr. Harris, I want a name, man. And so we had a list of names and we decided Luciano. Because Mr. Harris, is that Mr. Harris gave most of us names like Buju Bantan, Sizzler,
Whoa.
Spanner Banner. You
One
know
man name everybody that the business.
Mr. Harris.
Wait. So, explain who Mr. Harris is.
Mr. Harris is like one of the first. He's like a spiritual guide, a producer / advisor. You could go to him for any little problem you have. He will talk to you and tell you, advise you. He say, you know what? You need to go and link. I want you to take your songs to Dean Fraser. Let him take it to Fedges. You know. But Mr. Harris, he was at Grove Road at the time, and then he was a British who had retired, come home and was just helping out singers and upcoming artists and musicians like myself to see their way through. And he gave me my first microphone. He gave me a microphone and he said, because he heard me singing one day, and said, you know what, you're sounding good, but you need your pronunciation. You need to pronounce your words properly.
That's something that is very special about you.
Yeah.
In the way that your diction is very clear. There's a few of you artists that are like that. Buju's diction is another. His diction is very
about
clear.
Mr. Ken Booth.
Oh, very clear diction.
When you talk
Where
about,
does this come from? The manner that you speak.
I believe it has to do with over the years of practicing, and then you know what? I'll tell you where it's coming from. Even in writing, if you want people to read your handwriting and make clear what you're saying, you just have to write properly, don't it? So when you write, I make sure I write that people can make no mistake with words and say, this is what he said. So it's the same thing with speaking. When you're singing, you want people to make sure, say, this him say, no, I never that him say. So this is you want to be precise with your words so people can understand clearly what you're saying.
All right, something else that I want to get cleared up. Your handshake. Where does it come from?
I was watching this, because I watch a lot of videos with the Emperor, His Majesty. And I was watching the last Ark, or the Ark of the Covenant. And this video, I was watching His Majesty. And this is how His Majesty greeted his generals. And I said, wow, I love this. He says, I like this. So I decided I'm going to use this. See him.
Shoulder.
Yes,
shoulder,
but me add on this part. This is the next part.
Didn't there used to be a turn in there?
Me add on this part.
I'm sure there used to be a spin in there somewhere, Lucy. You sure?
No, we just raise up and after we seal the chin, we just add in that part, you know. So we say, keep it up, you know.
Keep it up.
And it signifies a lot, you know. Jah, Rasta, Farai. Up. Keep Jah up, you know.
Hundreds.
Yes, sir.
Something else I want to talk about is, because when you performed here, you couldn't do it here, but your flip.
Yes.
Your cartwheel. What does Luciano call it?
I wanted to tell the truth, my brother. I wanted to do some stuff, but because I had on the headphone,
right,
and the way I couldn't do much because I was restrained really. But I started doing all these things when I was young. Also, I used to go like Martinez when I go to the movie. When I watch all them great kung fu movies, Invincible Armor, you know, and Iron Monkey and all them big shit. Yeah, when I watch all them, when I watch John Lowe and all them man and say, oh man, I make some move. You say, boy, I get inspiration, I'm start to move one little thing. And even during high school, I had problem with because I was doing my kung fu. And some guys in the school think them could compete with me. Every day they have a man saying, I was in class one day, I'm say a note come in. We hear that you're the best kung fu karate kid. Meet me at the auditorium at noon.
What should I? At noon. That's the key part. At noon, you know, drunken master. What?
If a man knows, say you can do something, man say, man want to challenge you. So I say, okay. Because even I had a competitive spirit, even at school. I was like one of the best table tennis player. And me never have them bossy bat with sponge, you know. I cardboard, plyboard, I make my thing out there. But me practice after that until me get so good. When I get the real bat now, with the sponge. I said, man.
You know, I know you're serious. Because if you was a professional table tennis player, you would have said ping pong.
Yeah.
And when I said ping pong, table tennis.
Table tennis.
And I remember clearly when you came to my studio. Do you remember what game you played with my son in the back garden?
What
Well,
No.
you remember we had the tennis thing in the back.
Yes.
You make
man.
you sweat the Yo, Luci never want to put that the tennis racket in.
It's true, man.
He never want left none of that.
It's true. It's true. It's true. And you know, I was because of my nature. Probably, I think I've got a lot of competition. I was there, as I said, man, sending the list and sending a note and say, we hear that you're the best karate student. Meet us at the auditorium at noon there. When we look at me, I said, no, sir. I tell them I have one shoes there. A bone heel shoes. I said, no, I can't. I say, but just write back a note and send it. Say, let it be tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow, let it be tomorrow. I would say, fire. Next day I come prepare, I get me right gears now.
You have your belt and
right
everything.
gears and belt and everything. And so I can use that thing, you know, I leave out of class early. I'm going down to the auditorium with my crew, you know. And we did a workout and physical and I do all kind of stuff. And I sweat out and we are spar, you know. Everyone say. So when my rival now I come now, send them I come with film crew now. When the man them come and peep through and see how we fully gear up and high up like already. That man say, man,
Love it
here, sir.
You sure he's not going to come back in the comments
Love it
of this
here,
video and say, Lucci,
Yo.
you're telling a lie, Lucci.
No, man.
You're telling a
Any
lie.
one of them, no,
Me beat you.
No, them plan something for me. Them plan a thing for me. Them wait till me alone coming from school now. We used to have a graveyard when I walk through. Like, I take a shortcut to catch the bus. I go through and me alone now and them say, all right. When I look, me say, I graveyard, me I tell you about it. See a man come up from behind a tombstone. I say,
Oh, God.
what this? So I say, oh yeah, way out there. I see one more come out. I see three of them come out from behind some tomb. I say,
You never frightened?
I say, oh, what is spam? I fix up myself and I say, all right. Anything, you know, if a boy I forget, kick up, you know. So me and them start and me manage them three there, you know. When we look like them plan for me, them say, yo, like them I say, baller, the boy bad, come out. Me see, go for them.
The next one come
One
out.
different school, them go for a karate.
This a real karate movie.
No, this a youth. This a youth where them go for now. A real karate youth where do all them lessons and all the thing about him karate belt and everything. I say, what is for me now? And he would come out like ball of real now. So I say, what is now, God? And I look at me and say, none of my colleagues,
Everybody cut.
So I say, you know what? I'm start now. I put up a front still. I go like say, I can't manage them, you know. I say, the boy give me a lick there.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel like every nerves in my body shake. So I say, I feel like every nerves in my body move, man. So I say, you know that when I body, you know, so I go run that I can't fight the next day. So I just stamp it on the man. So come in have an iron pine boat, right? I just see him and give one of them a kick there. And took off. And the boy after me. I say, murder! Listen. We go to that bus. I say, yo, some boy I try. And the man say, oh, no, load it out. And rush them, you know. So it's always a thing. From them youthful days, I have this thing about me.
Competitiveness.
And it not just, it's a thing called resilience and ability and agility. You have to have them things to survive in this.
Of course.
Terrible.
And you know what? And you're 60 this year.
Yeah.
60 this year.
60 this
How
year.
does it feel to be closing in? I'm closing in on my 50. So, and you are closing by your
from the
60.
60.
How does it feel?
I feel it's good, you know. Honestly, when I was much younger, I used to envy when I see some of them big man going to all when I'm walking all the bank and thing, the respect what them get. And they have a golden line. And I say, boy, when am I going to them golden line? So now I reach that street, I can walk up, stand up in a golden line. I feel good to know that I'm a respected citizen. And people look up to me and, good places, people say, blessed. It's a good feeling.
I understand that because when my son's friends are around, they have this, I can't even say they want to, but I don't want them to do it. I don't want them to say, "What, go on, Shani?" No, I'm Mr. Deloney.
Yeah.
There is a difference, I'm Mr. Deloney. I'm your
Yes.
the father to your friend. You understand what I'm saying to you?
But you're going to get it, because, sometimes it's just your fans might say, because they feel so close to you.
100%.
They say, Luce, where I say Luce? As some little kids, I say, what, Luce? You all right? I say, yeah, man, I'm a good man. And because you make yourself sociable and reachable.
Do you know who tell me off? Papa Jara tell me off. And tell me because he went to school with my mum. So I chat to Papa Jara. I said, boy, Papa Jara this, Jara that. He said, no, Mr. Harper, I know your mother. Yo, the man put me in my place. And you know what? I felt right. It did feel right. Because you know what?
But you still say Papa Jara.
Papa Jara, but you know what?
Still never bad.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
He said, no,
proper.
Mr. Harper.
Yeah.
They have to put respect on your name,
Give
Luciano.
thanks, give thanks,
because
man.
in 2023, Rolling Stones put respect on your name.
Oh, my gosh, man.
143, as in a world-class singer out of
Yeah, man.
200.
Yeah, 200 out of 200.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I feel good, man. It's a nice recognition, Because look at me now. I used to be in the marketplace selling oranges and selling ice cream cakes. Ice cream cakes, only $2 for one. Speak up before I move on. I do not tarry for long. I remember I used to say these things until when I reach home, like in the weekends I would go home. I was in my sleep and my mother hear me, my mother in her room.
The same thing.
My mother in her room and hear him in my sleep, me at the pan. Ice cream cakes, only $2 for one. Speak up before. I do not tarry for long. Ice cream cakes. My mother said, son, when you going to stop selling my ice cream cake? Because even though you sleep, you sell cake. Oh, Papa Jesus. Oh, God. So I said, Mama, this is all right, man. We soon pass that hurdle, man. It's just a hurdle, So, my brother, we come up the ropes and we peer with those. And the beauty about it, Shani, we're not really hype about this because it's not, we can't take the glory. It's by the Almighty God. It's the Almighty and the help of our ancestors and those who have paved the way for us, that our icons, like the great Bob Marley and Dennis Brown, Peter Tosh, you name it. We are here to reap all this wonderful, rich heritage.
We sit in Tuff Gong on Bob Marley's birthday.
I'm telling you.
The 6th of February. You performing in here.
Yes, sir.
Spiritual, different levels.
Definitely, man.
What does Bob Marley mean to you, Luciano?
I want to ask you, why you choose here? What inspired you?
We never chose it. It chose us.
Are you kidding me?
It chose us.
This is big, man. The great king.
Why boast at thyself, O evil man? Playing smart, but not being clever. I see you working iniquity to achieve vanity, and I know so it goes. 'Cause the goodness of Jah I do it forever. Yeah. If you are a big tree, then I'm the smallest, sharpened to cut you down, well sharp, ready to chop you down.
A lot of people might not realize, as the Bible, when Christ was about to depart, it said, I will go now to my Father to prepare a way for you, that wherever I am, you may be also. But I will come again. I will go to prepare a way for you. But he said, the Father will never leave the world as an orphan. He will send for you another comforter. Now, when I talk to a lot of preachers and reverends and ask them to explain that passage to me, them cannot explain it. But my understanding is that when Christ was about to depart, Him said, "I will send another comforter." Now we see a lot of them don't have the vision or the spirituality to acknowledge when a comforter come. But Marley has been our comforter. Over the years, he has comforted us with music. He has guided us. Many times we feel like giving up. Him tell we don't worry. Him say me hold strong. Him say revolution. Him say Exodus of fire night. People, when you listen to all these words, these give you inspiration. These are songs that will hold you together as a nation. When he went to Zimbabwe, remember, for the independence, all people who never feel like they could fight or stand up against the system, they find courage to jump walls and scale over places against all odds, push through barriers, through barbed wire and all these things. This is what music does for us. It gives us the power and inspiration. This is why I know something is gone wrong with this younger generation, because the messages they are sending out now is causing the people to become so evil in themselves and cruel, and they have this bloodthirstiness that they're craving for the blood of their own brothers and sisters. So Bob Marley to me is a great icon, a comforter, a teacher, a healer, a guide, a father figure for me, because my father died when I was 10. So I have to look to all these great icons as my father and listen to the words that they teach and put them and apply them to my life. And just by applying these things, I see it work for me, my brother. Because I was in the market selling oranges. Who could believe that a little market man could end up and get all these accolades where all Rolling Stone magazine acknowledge me. Me get nominated for the Grammy how much time. I think they should have given me a Grammy, but no, honestly, I'm not even worrying about that.
You don't
because
need that. You
I
have the
know
Grammy from the people. Then.
I know when I see the people they know that the message is always consistent. And
how much Grammy artists cut more dub plate than you? That's raw money coming out of people's pocket, you know. That's raw money coming out of people. Whole heap of money, you know, my bro.
It's true.
Whole heap of money, you know. You talk about the music and the new generation. Where do you feel reggae music is in Jamaica in 2024 right now, as we sit in Tuff Gong Studios during Black History Month, Reggae Month?
Yeah, I as I say, I feel a little disappointed to know that even some of the corporate business owners and people who have the power of and the ability to even strengthen this music and the roots, they only wait until it's Black History Month or Reggae Month, or you see they rally around and try to see if they could garner some of the root singers to sing for. But in between, what happened in between January, from February going to the end of December, it's heart-rending when you go into some of these some restaurants, some of these hotels, and you hear them playing trap music, they're playing R&B, they're playing. I go to a restaurant where I always support them, and every time I go there, I hear them playing R&B. I'm not bashing any music because every man of them
I
right.
thought you was going to do a Peter Tosh for a second.
You remember
You know, I ain't a blood clot, baby, I love you. Excuse the bad words, but for that moment, I needed to do that.
No, well, I remember I went to, I'm not calling the name because I don't want people to go and stone him. I went to this place, I was spending thousands of dollars, I got some friends and things. We're spending money to buy, we support the restaurant, getting drinks, and all I could hear was Pierre Boogie Yaga and some reggae instead of reggae. And right through the time, I never hear him play Bob Marley or Dennis Brown. Nothing to worry about my name, man. If I go to the man and say, please, Mr. D, imagine that we're here spending and we're supporting a business, and you don't play no reggae, and I hear space reggae. Come on, man. It look bad. And we have all these people coming from abroad just to come and soak up some of our roots. And this is all you have to give to them? I say, I'm not coming back here. And him said, no, Luce, it's a you a play off my phone, you know. So I say, regulate the thinking. It's not looking good. So I believe that if we should really love and cherish what we have more, because when you go to our Barbados and them place, as you land at Trinidad, my brother, them have a steel pan band waiting at you at the airport, and them playing, and if you're going to feel vibes and vibration. Over the years, Trinidad never leave them carnival and them bacchanal and all them thing there. Them have them yearly thing. So what happened to Jamaica? Why is it we're selling out our own roots? We're selling out our own music, my brother, and allowing trap music.
Well, I can tell you, and I'm going to actually send you some videos. I was in Gambia the other day, Lucy, and my word, we're not for worrying about the music I play over there. You see over there, sir?
True.
In these places,
True.
the music is still resonating in a way it was in the 80s. And
as I say, a king never get honor in his own
never
town.
taught the truth.
Because a lot of people never acknowledge Bob Marley. They saw Bob Marley as just another little Rasta. And his people come from abroad and say, where can I find Bob Marley? I want to go to his studio or his museum. And then I say, who you want? I say, Bob Marley, you don't know Bob Marley? A lot of our own people never embrace him. Them time they matter them to see Rasta some little kill this man with just a bun ganja and a ball for jah. You see me I say? But now when we look we see realize that when the world acknowledge us now on another level, that's when you see them running and talk about yes, it's true, he's the king. But them a hypocrite king. You understand? Now me born the 19th, me born the 20th. 20th of October. Peter Touch born the 19th of October.
Look upon this.
The same spirit you see Peter Touch have. I have it, you know. But you see, because I grew up in my church and thing. Even Peter Touch was in his church, you know. And man let me know, say, when Peter Touch first came to town, he was an evangelist. I didn't know that. He used to preach downtown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was a little taken aback when I hear Peter Touch start get so radical and start cuss so much bad word all over the ear, like him not care.
Frustration.
No, frustration hit me too, but we have to learn to garner and control ourselves, because at the end of the day, if I lose it now, suppose I go sing a song like that now and people will say, Lucy, Lucy, God, we can't sing that song. Oh, I have to say, oh God.
Well, you know what? I think it's well documented that you have held your meditation throughout.
Yeah, man.
Well documented online.
Oh God, I pray.
Listen, Lucy,
General, no respect, yes, sir.
we could sit here for hours and hours and hours,
Yeah,
but
man.
I've got to go out into the streets of
Man,
Kingston,
you gotta go, man.
Jamaica.
I love this interview, man.
Great conversation.
I'm
We're
really
gonna
proud
do
of
it all
listen,
again.
man. I remember the first time when I came to One Extra. I was not even officially booked for that because it was Chronics.
Maverick Sabre.
Right, and I came for a different interview.
Yeah.
And then when we meet up in the lobby and we said, wait, and I said, Luce, it's Chronics really coming in, but you know what? Just come to as a guest, no, man. And I saw me go up on the One Extra, and that was a nice vibe.
Magic of the music.
And suppose I tell you something. Everywhere I turn, I hear people say, oh, Luce, I see you on One Extra. They think big.
Very big, very big. I have to big up my brother, Mr. Jam. That was actually his session. I was a guest on that session.
Yeah.
But me bring the Jamaican vibe.
No respect, Mr. Jam.
You get what I'm saying? So it was definitely a blast.
You're
Lucy,
doing great, man. I
thank
must
very
commend you,
much.
man.
Blessings every time.
I wonder when these people are going to acknowledge you, though, because they need to realize that you've been
A
working
king doesn't
hard
get crowned in where?
in his own town.
Okay,
It's true.
cool. So
It's
mate,
true.
I'm over here.
BBC One Extra, to all my people, my fans, my lovers, my wonderful people of Jamaica, 12 tribe of Isabel, Shantina Bengi. This is a day we celebrate the earth strong of the Honorable King Bob Marley. Let us not forget our roots. Hold on to the roots. Without the roots, we couldn't have the branch or the stem or the fruits. This is how we're going to teach our youth and inspire the people and show them the truth. Enough respect. Happy Earth Day to all the Marley family out there. God bless. Anna. BBC One Extra.